Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Gold Rush exclusive. Parker Schnabel's Sluicifer and Gravity win the heavy tug-of-war. On the next Gold Rush for Discovery, Parker Schnabel has expanded his crew, and we will watch a very expensive piece of equipment get sucked into the mud. Parker's cumbersome beast Sluicifer plant is being pulled by another piece of equipment. In TV show's Ace exclusive clip, we see Parker still at the promised land, as he watches his dirt-moving machinery losing the battle, as it cannot take the weight of the wash plant as it slowly heads into the water. Advising Parker in this preview are Shane Smith with Tyson Lee driving the excavator. Parker has most of his crew divvied up and is at this spot while Sluicifer is busy processing pay. But don't count the other moneymaker Big Red out, as last week they cleared over 300 ounces just from that plant. Gold rush so far for Parker and the rest of the miners. Mitch and Brennan had to shut their plant Big Red down. The Schnabel crew was just spread too thin. Some new hires and bingo, they were back up in business, closing out last week with over 300 ounces. Parker is clearly scoring the biggest gold this season. And our man Rick Ness was positioned at Duncan Creek on good ground. 2 years of barely breaking even, he needs 70 ounces a week to make it. Rick Ness has been behind the 8 ball for time and cash, so he brought mechanic Carl Rosk back to the fold. They had to move a wash plant across a river that has steep access and lots of questionable maneuvering last week, and it worked out. Ness is still fighting time as his wash plant must generate more money to pay for all his expenses that are piling up on him. His pay average up until this episode was around 40 ounces of gold. But newcomer Mark Doverspike seemed like a promising addition to the Ness crew. Hometown pal Cruz is still working out well too. Remember that Rick has to pay Troy Taylor 100 ounces a month as a lease royalty payment. This week will we see his new expensive hopper feeder pay off? He is just above water after paying Troy it off and paying out the hopper cost. Last week we saw that the Beats crew were at Paradise Hill, still battling to make a comeback after missing the mark 2 years in a row. Tommy is cracking the whip on his kids still as this season he is shooting for 3,000 ounces. His daughter Monica and sons Kevin and Michael are working overtime. Make sure to tune in to see how this new crew is working with the existing Schnabel crew, and if Parker continues his hot streak with gold yields. He really has the Midas touch this season. In the remote wilderness of the Klondike, where the landscape is as unforgiving as it is breathtaking, Parker Schnabel stands at the helm of one of the most formidable mining operations ever seen. At just 29, Parker is a veteran of the gold mining industry, having spent over half his life chasing the elusive metal that has captivated human ambition for centuries. But this season, the stakes are higher than ever, and Parker knows that to win big, he needs every ounce of experience, every drop of determination, and the relentless power of his prized piece of equipment, Sluicifer. Sluicifer, the behemoth of a wash plant that Parker has lovingly nicknamed, is more than just a machine. It's a symbol of his unwavering pursuit of gold. Towering over the muddy terrain, with its massive conveyor belts and roaring engines, Sluicifer is built to do one thing: separate the gold from the earth that conceals it. But this season, Parker faces a challenge that puts both man and machine to the ultimate test. A stretch of ground that promises immense riches, but only if it can be conquered. The ground in question lies in a particularly treacherous area, known for its dense layers of permafrost and heavy clay. This is no ordinary dirt. It's compacted, frozen, and holds the gold within it like a miser clutching his last coin. Many miners would have walked away, deeming the effort too great and the rewards too uncertain. But not Parker. He sees potential where others see impossibility, and with Sluicifer by his side, he's ready to wage war against the elements. The operation begins early, under the pale light of dawn, with the cold air biting at the faces of Parker's crew. They've been through countless battles together, each one etched into the lines of their weathered faces. There's Rick Ness, Parker's right-hand man, whose strength and loyalty have been the backbone of the operation. There's Mitch Blaschke, the mechanic whose hands are as capable of fixing a broken machine as they are of guiding it to victory. And then there's Brennan Rualt, the bulldozer operator who knows the land as if it were an extension of himself. As the engines of Sluicifer roar to life, there's a palpable tension in the air. This isn't just about gold. It's about proving that they can overcome the toughest of challenges, that they can extract wealth from the most unyielding of earth. The first load of dirt is fed into Sluicifer, and the machine groans under the weight. The conveyor belts whir, the screens shake, and the water jets blast away at the muck, sending torrents of slurry down the sluice boxes. Parker watches intently as the process unfolds. He knows that gravity is both their ally and their adversary. It's gravity that pulls the gold down, separating it from the lighter material, but it's also gravity that makes the dirt so heavy, so difficult to move. It's a delicate balance, a tug-of-war between man, machine, and nature, and Parker is determined to come out on top. The first few hours are grueling. The permafrost is thicker than anticipated, slowing down the operation to a crawl. The crew fights to keep Sluicifer from choking on the dense material. Every jam is a setback, every minute lost is a blow to their morale. But Parker is undeterred. He rallies his team, pushing them to keep going, to trust in the process, to believe in Sluicifer's ability to do what it was built for. As the day wears on, the sun climbs higher and the temperature rises. The permafrost begins to thaw, and the dirt becomes more manageable. Sluicifer starts to hit its stride, processing load after load with increasing efficiency. The sluice boxes, lined with specialized riffles, catch the gold as it sinks to the bottom, while the lighter material is washed away. The first signs of gold appear in the mats, glinting in the sunlight, a tantalizing hint of the riches that lie below. But just as the crew begins to relax, disaster strikes. One of the main conveyor belts snaps, sending a cascade of dirt tumbling to the ground. The operation grinds to a halt, and the air is filled with the curses of frustrated miners. Time is money in the gold mining business, and every minute the belt isn't moving is a minute closer to failure. Parker doesn't waste a second. He knows that in this game, it's not just about who has the best equipment, but who can adapt the fastest. He and Mitch jump into action, diagnosing the problem and working together to rig a temporary fix. It's a race against the clock, but Parker thrives under pressure. With sweat dripping down his brow, he pulls, wrenches, and welds until the belt is back in place, ready to resume the fight. As Sluicifer roars back to life, there's a renewed sense of determination in the crew. They faced setbacks before, and they've always come out stronger. The hours tick by, and the pile of pay dirt slowly diminishes as Sluicifer chews through it, inching closer to the gold that lies hidden below.